Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? So, right now we're going to watch a Shudder movie that I have on my Shudder, what you call it, my Shudder subscription. We're just going to go ahead and watch Hellraiser Inferno together. First of all, we're going to move these notes out of the way. And we got to start with tradition, of course. Hellraiser Inferno. Yeah. And Antisocial Commentary, episode number 23, Hellraiser Inferno. Action. Okay, so we're going to push play at the exact same time in 3, 2, 1, play. So to watch this movie with me, you can buy a Shudder subscription and set it to 0000000, and then just go right ahead and yeah, watch it with your Shudder subscription with me. Just gonna kind of take it easy today. Just turning up the volume here. But yeah, that in the background there is an authentic Craig Sheffer autograph. And I joked around earlier. I said earlier that I'm the biggest Hellraiser fan out there. I was just joking around. My buddy, he would be the biggest Hellraiser fan I ever met. Remember this one time, Halloween, like 20 years ago. Friends for a long time. He dressed up as Pinhead for Halloween, and I thought that showed his dedication towards the character. And yeah, I saw this being sold in an auction. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. And my my bid for the Craig Sheffer autograph of a Hellraiser Inferno, it was accepted. So I have that now, and I would like to give that to my friend because he is the biggest Hellraiser fan I know. And there's the star right now, Mr. Craig Sheffer, holding the gun to my head right now, making sure that I do this movie some justice by sharing some real notes with you. Now, first of all, I read a meme a second ago about chess, about this guy defeated AI without a piece, without losing a piece, which is pretty incredible. I think that we program AI to the best of our ability to emulate something smarter than us, and then a human being beats the AI just recently in a game of chess. Now right here we get we get a little glimpse of the arrogance played by Craig Sheffer. And director Scott Derrickson, he grew up really religious, and he said that this movie is about sins humans commit. And throughout the movie, you see that our anti hero is quite the sinner, you know? I always thought this movie was awesome, even though I understand why it gets a lot of hate, but I love all the Hellraiser movies, and there's something very fascinating about this installment in the franchise, which was not released in theaters. This is like the first Hellraiser movie to not be released in theaters. And it's because the Hellraiser before this performed not up to the liking of the studio. The Hellraiser before this is Bloodline. We'll talk more about the other parts later. Yeah, you gotta love and appreciate the use of candle work in a lot of these Hellraiser flicks. Now, Hellraiser, of course, was based on the Clive Barker novel, The Hellbound Heart. And without Clive Barker's idea coming to life, none of the 11 Hellraiser movies would exist today. So you got to appreciate the contribution towards the horror genre that Barker made. Not just with a video game like Jericho, or like a movie like Nightbreed, which was also Craig Schaefer was also in the movie Nightbreed with Doug Bradley too. Doug Bradley, who plays Pinhead. One of the things that I'll point out early is that Pinhead, the character that I watch Hellraiser for because he's so badass. Pinhead only has 2 minutes and 30 seconds in this movie. But it's effective enough that when I think about Hellraiser Inferno, I think Doug Bradley. But I guess that goes with every Hellraiser except for the 2 that he was not in. I would like to believe that the low budget for this movie resulted in making quite a bit back, but it's hard to say because it went directly to DVD or whatever, right? Now, the budget for this film was estimated at a total of like $2 million. Is roughly about where they landed with the estimate for how much money was put into this movie. And with a $2 million budget, I have to believe that they at least doubled their money. Like any Hellraiser fan from back in the day had to have bought the film on DVD or whatever. And then, of course, now, the way it's available on Shudder right now, and I'm putting my subscription towards streaming it, I just feel like that $2 million invested in the year 2000 when this movie was released, I just feel like that $2 million, it has to be like Like maybe not 10 million, but it has to be up there by now, you know? They say that Hellraiser Bloodline is at around like 10 million, so I could see this being a little bit close to 10 million. Just because every real fan of horror has probably seen all 11 Hellraiser movies. Mind you, it is apples and oranges, though. Some of us grew up just watching all of the Jason Voorhees movies. Some of us grew up watching all of the Michael Myers movies. Some of us grew up all the Hellraiser movies. I watched all of them, but I'm just justifying it for those who might not. Now that woman right there, I cannot remember her name. Her name might be Lindsay Taylor. I think that's Lindsay Taylor. Was that Chloe? Now this chick right here, if I'm not mistaken, that's Sasha Bareilles, and she was in The Hangover as the bride to be. Like the first Hangover, she was Doug's bride to be. And now in this movie, she's Doug Bradley's bride to be. I'm sure, but yeah, she is so fucking. She's so beautiful. She's beautiful. And trying to remember where else I've seen her. She was in The Hangover, and she played Courtney in American Pie. I'm trying to remember if I can remember Courtney off the top of my head. But yeah, she is a hottie. And Craig Sheffer got to put his hands all over her. Good for him. But yeah, no, like she's beautiful, and just the way they're slowly painting Joseph's desire to sin. It's just the self-indulgence of the greed and gluttony of drugs, and then the lust of this beautiful woman of the night, we will say. Definitely a call girl. And we have the cheesy old movie love making. Yeah, you get it. You get it. Cheesy old movie sex. But yeah, like just real sticking to the theme of all of the other Hellraiser movies, which are started with, greed and gluttony and lust. And like you have Uncle Frank at the beginning of the story there trying to hook up with that what's her name from that old school movie there. Yeah, Claire Higgins, dude. When Sean Chapman in the first one was trying to hook up with Claire Higgins, the good old Uncle Frank there. And then, dude, that like character switch that they do in Hellraiser 1, that was legendary. But yeah, talk more about that later. Now, I want one of those boxes, but the movies are so well done that I would be too scared to play with the configuration there. The lament configuration. Yeah. I like how that effect is done. Because it's just literally like a peg underneath it that you push up, turn around, and push down. It's so easy, but they make it look like the box is opening a new dimension. And then the use of colors right here. Just that thrust into almost absurdity, or there's just something creepy about entering a room and then it's a completely different room with a different kind of lighting. Speaking of lighting, our director of photography is Nathan Hope, and he actually did the director of photography work in the movie The Fog 2005, and he did a couple of episodes of Lucifer and a couple episodes of Gotham. So you can really see his use of lighting in this scene here. Like how that thing peeks out from the darkness. Like when I was a kid, I was terrified when I first saw it. And then like the weird seduction of masochism and sadism kind of just depicted throughout this whole thing, where the twins are like feeling him up, but at the same time like underneath his flesh right here, like the sick and twisted nature of this film is just what makes me not be able to look away. I'd get with two sexy female demons like that. And then just the blood. Like, I like to buy fake blood that looks a lot like that. It's like $20 a liter, but it's better than the stuff that I try to make at home with corn syrup and a little bit of starch and food coloring. The stuff that I make at home, it's either too bright or it's either too thin that it doesn't, it doesn't coagulate. The fake blood that I buy for like $20, it actually looks like it coagulates. It's kind of cool. All right, there we have the first like 7 seconds of Pinhead's 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the movie. It was terrifying. Yeah, Scott Derrickson, dude. Scott Derrickson is an underrated director for sure. Like Sinister with Ethan Hawke there, like as the author and all that. Like I read a couple of things online where it's like, that is the scariest movie of all time. I can see why it's at the top of everybody's list, but it is a really good movie though, directed by Scott Derrickson. You have Black Phone 1 and 2, so clearly he's buddies with Ethan Hawke. The Gorge with like Miles Teller. If I'm not mistaken, he directed The Gorge with Miles Teller and I can't remember, Anya something there, like that beautiful chick there. He directed The Day the Earth Stood Still, the Keanu Reeves version. I mean, obviously the first one was made in like like the 50s or something. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. So in a way, Scott Derrickson worked with Dexter's sister in Emily Rose there, and then Dexter's father later on, as James Remar makes an appearance in this movie later. But yeah, apparently Scott Derrickson and Paul Harris Boardman, they pitched it to the Weinsteins. And Bob and Harvey back in the day were calling a lot of shots there, and they took a shot at this film, and I'm glad they did. I like Tony in this movie. He's really good. Tony, of course. Tony, of course, is John Turturro's younger brother. I love how they did the scream effect from Sasha Baron screaming there, like how she starts like gargling on her own life force. But yeah, that horror effect there was very good there. But yeah, that Nicholas Turturro is John Turturro's younger brother, if I'm not mistaken there. And of course our poor Sasha Baron. Yeah, she was cool in The Hangover. Like right in the beginning scene when what's his name there, Bradley Cooper was talking to her. Oh, Tracy. Yeah. So I guess this is the second Sasha Baron movie that I did in part of my Antisocial commentary channel. Nicholas Turturro, connected with John Turturro, but at the same time though, like, seems like he's got a lot of really cool professional connections. Like I've seen him work with Sandler a couple times there, like in the Longest Yard. Plays one of those inmates with a temper, thinking about becoming quarterback. That's why you can't become quarterback. Yeah, those Turturros are they're a family of very talented actors and performers. Nervous laughter. Nervous laughter because it's like I'm putting myself in Joseph's shoes. Like, I just hooked up with this woman. Now she's completely slaughtered, And Turturro, I've seen Turturro here, like Nicholas Turturro. I've seen him in a couple of episodes of a couple of sitcoms, like he's buddies with Kevin James, so he's got like an episode of King of Queens, a little part in Zookeeper, a little part in what the hell's that other one, like Paul Blart 2 or something. Oh, he's the referee. He's the referee in Here Comes the Boom. So Nicholas Totoro. Bravo. Now, right there, the schemy actions of Joseph, right there. The way he's like framing Tony to save his own ass. That is beautiful artwork there. Like that woman is alive and hanging there. And you can see like her, like her body moving around, and she's playing dead, but it's like so beautifully done. Like you can see her chest moving up and down. She's breathing, obviously. She must be nervous. But she's so fucking beautiful. It's just unreal gothic kind of horror art, right? Yeah, that's what you gotta appreciate of this whole world, this dark evil world that Clive Barker created. Like I know this is Scott Derrickson's baby with that Paul Harris. What the hell's his last name? Paul Harris Boardman. I know it's their baby, and they wrote it based on the Hellraiser characters that Clive Barker created. I get that, but again, that we're in the universe of Clive Barker. That's why I give so much credit to the creator of it. It reminds me of this one time I read this fan book that combined Hellraiser and Sherlock Holmes. It was really cool. It's a really fun book combining the detective skills of Sherlock Holmes and Pinhead. And speaking of detectives versus Pinhead, it's kind of what you get with, right? Look at that. Look at that. Maybe it was that. Maybe that scene right there inspired somebody to make fan art that is Sherlock Holmes versus the Cenobites kind of thing. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. They filmed this in October 1999 until about November 1999. So they put about as much effort as a TV movie into this film that I enjoy. And it is considered Scott Derrickson's debut in film, having just come off doing a short film before this. Yeah, like I said earlier, Scott Derrickson grew up religious because he grew up worshiping Clive Barker. No, I'm joking. He grew up religious, and he wanted this film to be about disobeying God. So it's kind of a neat little thing how some of the things that we're taught when we're grown up, we create art that rebels against it or whatever. So it's kind of neat there. Scott Derrickson also wrote Doctor Strange, like like one of the scripts for Doctor Strange or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, they Scott Derrickson and Paul Bordson pitched it to the Weinsteins, and the Weinsteins were like, "Let's do it." Cool. So for a movie made in the year 2000 with a budget of $2 million, where like $50,000 was spent on special effects, according to what I read. Like with that much spent, that tattoo scene was pretty realistic looking for how much they put into this movie. And that right there, that legend is Mr. Nicholas Sadler. My favorite Nicholas Sadler role is Mobsters. And in the movie Mobsters, he plays kind of a badass. Pretty cool stuff. Check out Mobsters if you haven't seen it. As Christian Slater, Patrick Dempsey, Richard Grieco, and Costas Mandalore, like in Mobsters. That Costas Mandalore dude was the guy from like Saw 4 or something like that, and he made a return in like Saw 10, I think it was. I saw Saw 10 in the theaters. 10 or 9, I can't remember which one they were on, man. But the one where it's like about his cancer and going to Mexico or whatever. It's a good one, a really good one. Oh, Nicholas Sadler had a couple of small roles there in Scent of a Woman with Al Pacino. And so far we've seen pretty much every sin from our anti-hero protagonist, Craig Sheffer. Right here, the way he's mistreating, what's his name here? Nicholas Sadler. That's Wrath. But yeah, Nicholas Sadler had a small role in True Grit. Had a small role in Idle Hands. Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, that creepy like creepy van, like the way he was like ways like selling ice cream, and in his ice cream trucks like a bunch of hot naked chicks like and then for some creepy reason there's a Rugrats logo right over the shoulder of Nicholas Sadler here. I never noticed that Rugrats logo before, but I guess that's for the ice cream that he sells. Oh, there's Looney Tunes Sylvester in the background too by the two lesbians. Now we're entering what feels like Act 2 or something like that. for Sadler to talk about The Engineer. For me, that's when we enter Act 2 of this movie that feels like a 3-act kind of development, you know? The effects in this in this franchise, like, they can be so much fun. Like the beheading is, it's a terrible tragedy in real life, right? But like, just the Captain Obvious here. But what horror the genre is about is unsettling imagery, things that you wouldn't want to happen to you. Like, that's the essence of horror. Nobody ever deserves their head chopped up and then, like, being tucked into bed like that, for somebody to discover them with a note under where their torso should be or whatever, right? Like, nobody should ever have to go through that. But the way humanity has to express art, and sometimes art can reflect the darkest of the darkest. Something as trivial as a beheading in a horror movie is kind of a fun release of the evil that exists in all of man, It's one of those things that I used to say, like, if you're ever feeling evil, make a horror film. Instead of committing atrocious and just terrible, god-awful acts, make a horror movie about it. You want to take out your bully? Make a horror movie about it. It just seems healthier than actually doing anything that is going to significantly affect your freedom if you get caught doing it. So, is anybody going through any dark thoughts like that? Just know that you can move. You can do whatever it takes to preserve your freedom so that you have that freedom to express yourself and be yourself. Don't throw your life away. Make a horror film instead. So here you have him being Mr. Bear False Witness, trying to frame Tony, and then trying to sweet talk Tony into being cool with him framing him. Yeah, on a $2 million budget, renting a little bar like that just for a little scene like this, still pretty cool. Like, did the director decide to put up a bunch of those, like, Christmas lights on the wall just to make it look more like we're in the Hellraiser universe? Or did they find the bar that way and say, fuck it, let's film it like this, with the swordfish in the back and everything? Now we see our ice cream man getting tortured by the classic what? Cat o' nine tails or something. Yeah, a lot of that scene is what you don't see. When you have an effects budget of $50,000, you don't have to put any like prosthetics that tear off the flesh of the ice cream man. You just have to show the after effect. It would be harder to make it animate, you know, if they had did it that way. But a part of me thinks maybe they should have spent the extra dough to see Nicholas Sadler get his flesh tore off of him when he was being whipped there. But movie making is tough, man. That cop there, where did I see him? In the movie Blue Streak. In the movie Blue Streak, he puts like ointment on himself. I'm pretty sure that's him though in that Martin Lawrence movie with Luke Wilson and like Bruce McGill. No, was that? I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Bruce McGill. It was I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, but I think he played the cop in House of a Thousand Corpses. Hang on, I'm gonna check now. Blue Streak film cast. See, Peter Green was in it. I forgot about that. I mixed up William Forsythe with Bruce McGill because I saw a Bruce McGill film the other day. Well, I wouldn't call it a Bruce McGill film. It was a Tom Cruise film, but Bruce McGill was in it. And I watched Collateral the other day, so I was thinking about Bruce McGill when I was thinking about William Forsythe, who was in Blue Streak with the cop that was his boss there in the last scene. Now the lighting in like right now, for example, like the lighting is like a normal lighting, and I love their use of shadows and their use of like bright, almost silver tone and like bluish kind of like a gothic dead kind of color that they use later in the film there. I'll talk about it a bit more later, but we have the introduction of the legend. Everybody's a fucking legend to me. I say it over and over again. I apologize, but James Remar is really a legend, though. He really is, dude. He really is. He had a small role in Oppenheimer. That was pretty recent. He was in Mortal Kombat 2, like the old Mortal Kombat 2, not the Mortal Kombat 2 that's coming out in a week and a half right now. I'm so excited for. He played a couple of voices in the video game Destiny. He was good in Django Unchained. In Pineapple Express, I liked him as that authority type where he's like illegal when he's talking about weed. It's really good. Let's see. Drugstore Cowboy with Matt Dillon. He's in that movie for a bit there. Oh, dude, a role that is super underrated for James Remar that I love is like I'll talk about Dexter later, but like is he plays Adolf Hitler's father in the Forrest Whitaker version of The Twilight Zone. And throughout that whole episode where he plays the Führer's he plays the Führer's father, throughout that whole episode it's like it's about going back in time, like would you kill Hitler? That whole fucking episode I'm like I would just get rid of his father. But like, just in the episode, the movie is about the Twilight Zone episode is about going back in time to prevent Hitler from doing all the evil there that he did there. And the entire time I'm watching that fucking Twilight Zone episode, I'm like, I would have taken out the father, and the father was played by James Remar. That's why I remember it so clearly. But yeah, check out the Forrest Whitaker version of the Twilight Zone series. If you like stories, you will not be disappointed. That Rod Serling stuff, they perfected stories like that in like the 50s, 60s kind of thing, man. So and I love how life goes on. Like the ice cream man is dead, but then outside, bunch of kids playing soccer. Life goes on. Now, what would my favorite Hellraiser be? When I was a kid, I would say that Hellraiser 2 is my favorite, and that's because it combines all of the story in number 1, and just like the recap works for it. That's why I liked it so much, but number 1 is obviously like the coolest, the best. But anything with Ashley Lawrence and the Hellraiser universe, like I'm on board completely. Like I had such a huge crush on Ashley Lawrence, like just such a huge fucking crush on her when I was a kid. And honestly, now I'm an adult, and in Hellraiser Hellseeker, she's like the hottest chick ever, dude. Like just so fucking hot. And I love Ashley Lawrence. Yeah, man. But yeah, Hellraiser 1, Hellraiser 2, and Hellraiser Hellseeker, those are like my 3 favorites because they have Ashley Lawrence in them, and I think she makes a cameo in a couple of the other ones. But then after that, oh man. Like Hell on Earth is part number 3, right? Hellraiser Hell on Earth. And just seeing the Cenobites in the middle of the street, that right there, Hell on Earth, like that right there made that fucking awesome. And what else there? I'll talk more about my favorites, but we covered number 1, number 2, number 3, and Hellseeker. And let's get back to Inferno for a bit, and then I'll reflect on other Hellraisers a bit later. But right now I'm loving the poker scene. So many cowboy hats making it look so like this isn't reality for our detective because of how, like, look at how many hats everybody has. It's the questioning of reality that I love about Hellraiser. And that fella right there, that is Michael Seamus Wiles. and he's one of those guys. You know, like when you see a familiar face, familiar actor, you're like, oh, it's that guy. He's one of those. Oh, it's that guys. And oh, it's that guy from Fight Club. He has a small role in Fight Club where he gets to act with Edward Norton. And he's like, is this a test, sir? You know, yeah. Fight Club, really good scene. Yeah, I love that about like the small characters in a Clive Barker universe. You know, like I know it was written by Scott Derrickson and what's his name there, Paul Harris Boardman. Keep forgetting that, but just those like little characters that are kind of like when you first watch Friday the 13th, and there's that one character who's like, don't go to the lake, it's cursed. In a lot of Clive Barker films, there seems to be like a subtle nod to don't go to the lake, you know, in the universe and in this kind of thing there. It's been a long day. I apologize. But yeah, just that character that Michael Seamus Wiles play, the character he plays there, like it has like careful detective. Like I like those kinds of characters. If I ever become a character actor, I can see myself playing one of those characters, you know? Like a bartender or something like that. Here you go, fella. Oh, what seems to be troubling you, sir? It's like, oh, well, I'd be careful about going up to that cemetery. I'd watch out for that cemetery. You know, like I think I'd be really good as one of those kind of character actors, you know? The warning character. That sometimes dead is better kind of guy. So creepy. No, I love the use of like that bluish kind of light. Like the more blue and that like that silver tonish kind of blue you see, the more of that you see. It's like the closer to hell we get. Just watching him wig out, I apologize for the dead air. Sorry, I got into it there. Let's talk about my other favorite Hellraiser films. Now, after number 1, 2, 3, and Hellseeker and Inferno, my favorite other than that is fucking Bloodline for sure, dude. For sure. with they give the origin of how the box was created, and the toy maker thing, like traveling through time with the Hellraiser bloodline thing, like that blew my mind when I was a kid, dude. That blew my mind. And and all the Cenobites and everything in Hellraiser Bloodline. I thought it was underrated. I thought it was underrated. It was like there's a big moment in 90s and 2000s like horror movies where everybody started going to space. I wish I wish I wasn't being serious. But like Leprechaun went to space, Leprechaun in space, and there was what's her name from Home Improvement. Heidi from Home Improvement was in Leprechaun in space. And Jason X. Jason goes to space in Jason X. And then, wouldn't you know it, Hellraiser Bloodline takes Pinhead, Doug Bradley's Pinhead, to space. And yeah, man, after the Ashley Lawrence stuff and number 3 in Inferno, like Bloodline's up there, man. It's like number 1, number 2, Bloodline, and then like Hell on Earth, and then Inferno, and no wait, Hellseeker's up there somewhere. I apologize. It's after number 2. Hellseeker's up there because of Ashley Lawrence. Deader. Oh, I did not like Deader. I apologize to all you Hellraiser fans out there. I am not a purist because I did not like Deader, but I'll still watch it if I'm having a Hellraiser marathon. Like Hell World. Man, Hell World has, like, I liked Hell World now, but like when I was younger, it just seemed like it had more potential. It could have been a lot deeper than. I don't want to ruin it in case you didn't see it. Go see Hell World. You'll see what I mean. Like, I wish it was something more real is all I'll say about Hell World. Revelations, nobody was ready to say goodbye to Doug Bradley. I'm still not ready to say goodbye to Doug Bradley, huh? But in Revelations, they ended up getting, was it Paul? No, wait, no, Stephen Smith. Stephen Smith played Pinhead in Revelations, and nobody was ready to move on from Pinhead being Doug Bradley. And then after that, Hellraiser Judgment. Hellraiser Judgment was also not Pinhead. And that was Paul T. Taylor who played Pinhead in Judgment. Judgment had some cool parts, I thought. Like, I thought the interviewer in Judgment was fun there. And then the remake with Jamie Clayton as Pinhead or whatever there, like, and that Voight fella. It had a couple of moments to it, but the Hellraiser remake with Jamie Clayton, it's still not as good as, well, I mean, it's better than Deader. Definitely better than Deader. But any Doug Bradley Pinhead era for me other than Deader is better than the Jamie Clayton version, but it still has a really good, like, this is unfair, why is my flesh being torn apart? You know what I mean? Still has that good theme that Hellraiser has. That family movie theme. No, I'm struggling about it. And there's that cool lighting. Let's see what we got here. We are at the 59-minute mark. Well, I was just checking the timer on the movie here. Let's see. So yeah, Lindsay Taylor portrays Chloe. Rachel Currence was that little girl from The Rain. Cool. I didn't see that they have the cast for. You can scroll through the cast thing in Shudder when you're going through the Amazon Prime app. It's pretty cool. Let's see, who was that? That was. Let's see, Noelle Evans plays Melanie. Lindsay Taylor plays Chloe. Cool. All right. My apologies for any dead air that I might have throughout this thing. I need to get better at my horror history when it comes to films. And I have seen every Hellraiser movie. And I have a copy of The Hellbound Heart somewhere around here. Or it might be at my mother's. But yeah, I grew up on Clive Barker horror to the point where I even played the video game Jericho. And one of my favorite books by Clive Barker is really cheesy. It's really underrated, I think. That is Mr. Be Gone. The thing about Mr. Be Gone that I love about that book is that it starts with something like reverse psychology, because Clive Barker writes it as though the book is talking to you. And basically the beginning of the book is like, burn this book. You don't want any trouble. I'll come out of this book and beat the... read Mr. Be Gone. It's fun. And also, I read Mr. Be Gone by myself, thankfully, but I also heard an audio. I heard an audio of Doug Bradley performing Clive Barker's Mr. Be Gone. And I was transported. Doug Bradley's voice, reading Mr. Be Gone, and he was Pinhead, right? Like that fanboy stuff. It's really good. So if you can find a copy of Mr. Be Gone on something like Audible or maybe YouTube or something, if you can find the copy where Doug Bradley performs it, please go ahead and give it a listen. It's totally worth it. That nurse looks like the lady from The Office. I doubt it's her though. But what I love about... I gotta stop saying that. I said that's just so many goddamn times. What I love about is the movies here, like the Hellraiser movies, the Hellraiser story, is at first you question, is this character descending into madness? or is this madness increasing around the character kind of thing? Like, it happens in pretty much every Hellraiser, where at first you're like, is the character crazy? And then you kind of recognize it's the Hellraiser universe. So the atmosphere becomes a character in its own way here. Hello. Good, how you doing? Yes, sir. I'll be there. Send it on over. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye. Sorry about that, everybody. But that was my work calling, which means that I'm going to go to work right after this. But, yeah. I love the way I gotta stop saying I love the way. It's so annoying. I apologize. But the way the color is used for the lighting, like it's like bluish, silvery, greenish, like we are experiencing Joseph's hell. And he has to, like, that would be like the worst. Somebody you love on the other side of the door. And that is some beautiful fake blood. Just a wonderful little puddle there underneath the door. Sound like Bob Ross. The Bob Ross of horror movie effects. That little pile, that little puddle of blood there, that'll be our little secret. The tone, how the tone switches. The security guard that does nothing in the hospital. This is real life, you wouldn't have done that. Would have just sat up there on the chair. Just joking. His suit gets more and more bloodier. A lot of people who review this movie have said that Hellraiser Inferno doesn't make any sense. They said a lot of stuff like that. And like I get what they mean, but at the same time I also think that like the point of the movie is that it doesn't make any sense here. Hang on, I gotta plug this back in. Of course, my controller stops working now, which is frustrating. Yeah. Yeah, the sound cut out. Isn't that frustrating? Well, in order to... Oh, I got lucky. The cord, I jumbled it just the right way. The cord cut back in, so we're good. That nurse did a really good job there, like running out of the room, terrified of the puddle of blood right there. .416C Hathaway Lane. This is a like California movie. Let's see, 416C. 416C Hathaway. I'm gonna see if that address exists in LA. Cool, man. 416 Hathaway Avenue. 5 bedroom, 4 bath for sale. Okay. I really liked the movie that Craig Sheffer and Doug Bradley worked on together before this. Nightbreed was directed by Clive Barker, so in that sense, it's a small world after all, you know, like Craig Sheffer having worked with Clive Barker already, and then, you know, Doug Bradley, so it's just kind of neat. Another really solid Clive Barker adaptation, I think, is the movie The Midnight Meat Train, starring Bradley Cooper and Vinnie Jones. That's always scary when somebody says, "You need help." Then you kind of look at yourself and like, "Do I?" And then if you do, it's scary. If you don't, whatever. But the 416 Hathaway Lane that we see right there is not the 416 Hathaway that I saw just a second ago. let's see. Let's see. Um, that's Hathaway Avenue is what I was looking at. No, it's not coming up. It gives me something in Illinois, so I'm not even gonna go all in on that thought there. Man, what time is it? I gotta make sure that I'm not gonna be late for work. Oh man, I got like 25 minutes left before I have to leave, and there is 25 minutes left on the movie. Hopefully the credits are like 7 minutes so that I can end right at the credits. But yeah, man, like one of my friends growing up, he's like the biggest Hellraiser fan that I know, and he dressed up as Pinhead for Halloween. And the reason I wanted to do this podcast about Hellraiser Inferno with Craig Sheffer's autograph is my plan is to give this authentic autograph of Craig Sheffer in Hellraiser Inferno to my buddy. I'm going to give that autograph to him the next time I see him. And I'll be honest, I'll be honest though, like when it comes to Hellraiser autographs, I really, really, really want an Ashley Lawrence autograph of her in Hellraiser 2 when she's like in the mental hospital or something. Like, I think that would be really cool. I like when they give a character a title by their profession. Like in Hellraiser Bloodline, the coolest part is that they keep calling I think it's Lamar Shawn. Who's he played by there? Bruce Ramsey. He's played by Bruce Ramsey in Bloodline, and they call him Toy Maker throughout the whole story. And the way they use that title, Toy Maker, in Bloodline, in the movie Inferno, they use that with the engineer. Yeah. So I like that effect for storytelling, I think it's pretty cool. And then right there we see we are in just a god awful nightmare. His daughter and his wife there. Like, just the whole world is going to hell. And that taunting effect that hell has in the Hellraiser universe. Like, there it is, just like making fun of the lead character almost, like that tormenting nature to like play with the protagonist's emotions and just everything that is horror. Watching your family shatter into 1,000 little pieces. Just amazing, dude. Now we start bridging the gap here. That this is all part of Hell's plan. Now, the kid is Scott Derrickson, the director and writer, with Paul, what the hell's his last name there? Paul Harris Boardman. Scott Derrickson having a religious upbringing. And then, like, why is the kid Scott Derrickson? I'll let you know in a bit. You already know. If you like these movies like I do, you get it. God, he was so good in the war years, wasn't he? Now, when I was a kid, I thought because of this transformation that James Remar was like Doug Bradley, because I was still a kid when I saw this movie for the first time. So, yeah, when I was a kid and I first watched this movie, like, the whole thing was me just waiting for Pinhead to show up. Like when I first saw it, it's like, where'd he go? Come back, Pinhead. Now Joseph has to go deeper into this hell that is laid out before him by Pinhead. Always designed to twist the knife. That is the stab of disconnecting from reality. We get a little bit of a glimpse of Scott Derrickson's sweet childhood innocence. Because he said the movie's about sins, and it's, in a way, it's like Scott Derrickson is the kid, and as we go further and further into the character Joseph as an adult, we see slowly that innocent kid and who he is as an adult become further and further from one another. And that feeling of when you're dreaming, that dreaming feeling when dreams feel real. What I like about Hellraiser is that when it's a dreamy kind of sequence, like this, for example, it feels real. A lot of the directors throughout the Hellraiser franchise have that ability to do that, except for the person who did Deader. Like Craig Sheffer always kind of looked like a angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Can't remember who Angel's name from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but yeah, that guy's a good actor, dude. He was like in like SEAL. He was in that one show. It was like SEAL Team or something like that. I thought he was really good in that. He played Squall or Leon in Kingdom Hearts. Thought he was really good in that. But yeah, Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Craig Sheffer, look like they could have been brothers, you know? Now your effects budget is $50,000. How much are you spending on the fake eyes, the prosthetics, the squibs? I guess that one didn't really require a squib. That was more of a sound effect with a flying body towards the kitchen table there. That was still good though. Still effective. And I love when I gotta stop saying that. When they go into like the snowy, almost gray, almost blue, almost greenish kind of hell hue. But yeah, to all of the reviews that say Hellraiser Inferno makes no sense psychologically, to me that's the point. Like at the beginning of the movie, the character Joseph says like, "Oh, I've always been good at puzzles. I'm good at figuring them out." And like you see him like doing the chess thing and all that stuff at the beginning. So just for his hell to become something that he can't figure out. Like that's this person's hell. And to me that's why when people say this movie makes no sense, it's because we're in the hell of somebody who is used to figuring out puzzles and used to being a detective and things being solvable and of nature and physics. But we're dealing with a realm of hell that is outside of our understanding. And that's Inferno. That's what that means to me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Like hell is kind of showing him the real darkness that lives in his heart. Now I'm certain we've all figured it out together that he's in hell. And as soon as he opened the box, he was in hell, right? And for me, like, not only is it the death of that innocent child that he was when he was a kid, there's like a ghost of Christmas past and ghost of Christmas present and ghost of Christmas future kind of vibe to this story. Like the past was showing him how innocent he was when he was a kid. There's his innocence right there. And then the present being all of his debauchery and drug use with that hooker there, all that stuff. And then a glimpse of the evil person he would have been had he not opened up the box. Like if he wasn't stuck in hell, he would have became this evil monster that is him. And we find out all along that not only are we in this guy's hell and punishment for all of the sins he committed in the past, he's also getting punished for the sins that he was going to commit. Oh no, my sound is going out again. Try plug it back in. There we go. Just such dedication by Doug Bradley. Like all that makeup takes like hours to put on. The death of his innocence. But that metaphor, the metaphor that he's killing his innocence, like, oh man, just powerful stuff. That your flesh is killing your spirit, killing your soul line. Very cool. There we have the beginning of the end here, where he wakes up and realizes, like, oh man, that was a really realistic dream. And like the finale is like, oh, okay, everything's gonna be okay. Then you see that beautiful Sasha Bareilles, just so gorgeous in bed. Straight to business. Speaking of characters there's a woman in this movie called Melanie is her character's name, and she's played by Noelle Evans. And in the movie The Rules of Attraction, her credit is crack whore. Like, that's literal. If you look at IMDb, In the movie The Rules of Attraction, her credit is crack whore, and then in the movie 15 Minutes, she plays Honey the Hooker. So it's a very diverse cast of Shakespearean like actors and actresses here for sure. Yeah. The Ray here, man. It's like a homage to all of like the Twilight Zones and creepy horror stories past. The twist. Boom. Boom, baby. And then the unfairness of there is no escaping the hell that he deserves for all of his sins. Selfishness, arrogance, wrath, greed, gluttony, lust, bearing false witness, all of it just. Yes! Yeah, man, what I really love about that movie, I gotta stop saying what I love about this movie, but what I really love about that movie is the fact that we get stuck in hell and we can't get out of it. We have to endure it. And I've always said this to my friends whenever shitty stuff happens to them or whatever. I've always said that when it comes to life, 90% of the time, the shitty, evil stuff that happens to us, 90% of the time, we just have to endure it and we have to go through it. And we have to keep going. Keep going. And then 10% of the time, 10% of the time we conquer it, you know? And this whole movie was about that 90% of the time where you just have to endure the hell that you have to go through, you know? The character Joseph is there forever in his own hell in Hellraiser Inferno. But yeah, man, that was a really good movie. I'm going to give that, like, it's not a 5-star movie, so I'm not going to put stars underneath it or whatever. But it does mean something to me because I grew up watching Hellraiser. And yeah, I'm going to give that to my buddy there, that Craig Sheffer autograph. He'll appreciate it more than I do. He's the best. He's the best. But yeah, thank you so much for watching my podcast here, Antisocial Commentary. Hellraiser Inferno is our movie for tonight. And I got to go to work now. So we're going to end this on a high note. And just say thank you for watching, everybody. Antisocial Commentary, Hellraiser Inferno. Cut. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers, love, respect.